Hello and welcome to the Arizona Department of Education School Finance presentation of the Introduction to Data Verification Reports. This is the second in our AzEDS submission to AzEDS Reports series of videos. In this presentation, we will be providing contact and website information, briefly reviewing the systems used in this process and the data collection elements, then walking through the AzEDS process and the generation of the data verification reports. We will end with a few troubleshooting tips. Please keep in mind that this is an introduction to data verification reports. We will only be introducing the reports and discussing how you might use them to validate your student data. This page contains the contact information for each division of school finance. School finance is broken up into 3 divisions which each manage separate areas of the finance process. Each group works out of a shared email inbox so we can more quickly respond to the emails we receive. The account analyst team handles student data, the school district employee report, instructional calendars, transportation reporting, and 915s. For questions related to these topics, please email sfanalystteam@azed.gov. The payments team handles APOR and CHAR reports, the classroom site fund, and the instructional improvement fund. All questions related to the allocation of state aid should be directed to the payments team at the email address in the purple box. The budgets team handles expenditure budgets, annual financial reports, all other budget-related reports, and any questions related to budgets. For questions related to these topics, please contact the budgets team at the email address in the blue box. We've also provided the web address for ADE Connect, which houses the AzEDS portal where you'll access student data verification reports. You may also reach us by phone at the phone number in the red box, and general school finance questions can be emailed to schoolfinance@azed.gov. The school finance website, located at the top of this screen, contains different pages related to student data. In the Knowledge Center, you'll find links to training videos, announcements regarding targeted webinars and in-person trainings, as well as instruction guides that will help with the student data process. The Memos tab contains school finance memos published each fiscal year, and on our homepage, you'll find hot topics, which are announcements published by the different divisions in school finance. You can also reach the analyst team by email at sfanalystteam@azed.gov. We do ask that when you send us an email, you provide state student IDs for questions related to specific students, or screenshots if you are contacting us regarding an error you need assistance with. Again, the homepage for the school finance website is at the top of the screen here, and you'll see the Knowledge Center and Memos tabs at the top in the light blue bar. The school finance homepage also houses the 10 most recent hot topics. These announcements are posted by the different divisions within school finance, and you can subscribe to receive alerts when a hot topic is posted. To do so, please visit the school finance website and click on any hot topic in the list on the left. The screen in the background will appear, and you'll need to click on the red icon holding the Subscribe for Updates sign. The subscribe screen will appear, and here you'll select the categories you'd like to receive alerts regarding, as well as the frequency with which you'd like to receive those alerts. Then you'll enter your email address, click Subscribe, and follow the rest of the prompts. We do suggest you sign up for all of the categories to make sure you don't miss a hot topic that may apply to you. In part 1 of this series, we reviewed in detail the systems and data collection elements. That was in much greater detail than what we will do in this presentation. We will, however, touch on them briefly as they are a part of the data verification process. There are 2 systems used to report student data. Your student information system is where your registrar or other data entry staff will enter student-related data. Your student information system, or SIS, or SIS, is the system that sends information to AzEDS, or the Arizona Education Data Standards. AzEDS is the system Arizona uses to collect, compile, maintain, and report student-level data. It is important to note that, statutorily, ADE cannot manipulate your data. The data you see reflected in the AzEDS reports for your district or school is a reflection of the data you've uploaded from your SIS to AzEDS. What data is collected? There are different data elements that make up the data required to generate state aid. Student membership and program data, instructional calendars, and teacher or course data are all submitted by your SIS and housed in the AzEDS system. Staff data and transportation data are sent by school districts only and are collected in the legacy system called Common Logon. Eventually, those applications will also move over to AzEDS, and all of this data will be collected there. Please note that other data elements are collected in your SIS, like immunizations and discipline. However, they are not sent to AzEDS as part of this data collection process. Now we will briefly do a high-level walkthrough of the AzEDS process that generates the data verification reports. The blue person icon on this screen represents the person at your school or district who is responsible for entering data into your SIS, which is represented here by the computer icon. Your student information system should have a feature you'll use to define the frequency with which you want your data to be submitted to AzEDS. While each SIS may offer different options as to how often your data can be submitted, it is important to note that it must be submitted a minimum of every 20 days and that you must maintain documentation of each upload for auditing purposes. When your data is submitted to AzEDS, it flows through the API or Application Programming Interface. The API is typically open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. However, there are occasions throughout the year when it is taken down for maintenance. When your data flows through the API, a transaction is created and the data flows into the verification phase of this process. The data that appears in the verification phase is data that has landed successfully in AzEDS. Nightly, at 5 p.m., integrity runs and results in data landing in the post-integrity phase. This phase will contain data that has met the requirements in the integrity rules. Immediately after integrity has finished running, the ACE process will run. The data that lands in the post-ACE phase represents data that determines your state aid payment. The integrity and ACE, or ADM calculation engine, processes are sets of rules determined by statute and internal technical requirements. It is important to understand the source of the reports you'll see in AzEDS. A report is generated every time your student data interacts with the process in AzEDS. When the data flows into the API, transaction reports are generated called the Trans10 and Trans15. These reports are explored in detail in the first video in this series. The reports produced in the verification phase are the STUD10, STUD15, STUD72, SPED10, and ELL10. We will explore those reports in greater detail in the next few slides. The Cal10 and Cal15 reports show you the calendar data that has landed in AzEDS. Integrity will run nightly, and the results of that process interacting with your data will result in the INTEG 15 and INTEG 35 reports generating. The INTEG 15 will show student integrity results, and the INTEG 35 will show calendar integrity results. These results, or reports, can be pulled to show what data has passed or failed integrity. After ACE runs, the ADM 15 and ADM 20 reports are generated. The ADM 15 shows student average daily membership details, and the ADM 20 shows average daily membership summary counts. All of these reports should be used to help you reconcile your data and ensure that they contain all of the students that your SIS shows you should receive state aid for. Contact your vendor if you aren't sure which reports you can generate in your SIS to compare to each of the reports that you can pull in the AzEDS portal. Now we will discuss how to access these reports and review the data verification reports in greater detail. On the top right-hand side of the ADE website, there is a link for ADE Connect. You must have access to ADE Connect to run these reports. When you click on that link and log in, you'll have access to all of the applications that you've been given permission to interact with. If you do not have an ADE Connect account, contact your entity administrator. Additional details on finding your entity administrator can be found in the first video in this series. Once you've logged into ADE Connect, you'll click on the link to the AzEDS portal highlighted here in yellow. When you reach the AzEDS portal, it is important to stop and look over the System's Status page. This page contains valuable information related to the status of your student data reports. The table in the center of the page contains the start and end dates and times of when Integrity and ACE last ran. There are some occasions when Integrity and/or ACE do not run. If you notice that Integrity didn't run the night before, it is highly likely that the data in your verification reports will not reconcile to the data in your student information system. Please be sure that you always review the status column as well. If the status of any process does not read completed, then that might also cause the data in AzEDS not to match the data in your SIS. You can see the REST API status on the screen is available. Occasionally, the IT team will need to close the API for maintenance. When that happens, the status will show as unavailable. From this screen, you can access the Reports tab from the menu bar at the top of the screen, which is where you'll view the student data verification reports. When the Reports page appears, you'll see the green menu bars on the left-hand side. You can click on each green bar to expand it and view the reports within that section. There are different permissions in ADE Connect to access different reports. If you do not see the reports you need to reconcile your data, please contact your entity administrator. As I said before, we reviewed the Trans10 and Trans15 reports in the first video in this series. The Student Details section contains the STUD10, STUD15, and the STUD72 reports. The STUD10 report can be found in the Special Education section, and the ELL10 is located in the English Language Learner section. While there are several other reports that are part of the student data collected and reconciliation process, we are going to focus solely on the STUD10, STUD15, STUD72, SPED10, and ELL10 data verification reports today. The STUD10 report provides you with a pre-integrity view of individual student data elements that have successfully landed in AzEDS. You'll need to select the appropriate parameters before you run the report. You can see the parameter options in this screenshot. You can run this report for an individual school or all schools, and you'll select which grades you'd like to view. When you select the school enrollment information parameter, you'll be able to see some demographic and membership data, the calendar code the student is associated with, the entry and exit codes and dates, and some reported attendance information. You'll select the FTE information option to view the full-time equivalency that's been associated with each student's membership. FTE is defined in statute and considers the number of subjects a student is enrolled in, as well as instructional time. Tuition peer codes are assigned to define which students are eligible for state aid and which are not. The Special Enrollment Information Report will display students reported with a special enrollment code. The Homebound Information Report will display all students coded as receiving homebound services, and the Chronic Health Problem Report will display the students reported as such. Please note the I located near the report title. We'll discuss the importance of that in a few slides. You'll note that when you run each report, the header and information displayed will change. The fields displayed on each of the STUD10 reports are specific to the report parameter you've chosen. The STUD10 allows you to narrow your focus in on each individual data element. The ADE AzEDS team has created a QRG or Quick Reference Guide to accompany many of the reports found in the AzEDS portal. They have created an individual STUD10 QRG for each report parameter available. You can locate these guides by clicking on the eye next to the report name in the AzEDS Reports screen or by visiting the website at the top of this screen. Each QRG provides you with the report description as well as a breakdown of what the report parameters show. To learn more about the STUD10 reports, please visit the website on this screen and locate the STUD10 QRGs. Please note that the QRGs are updated by the IT team regularly to ensure they provide the most up-to-date information regarding the AzEDS reports. Now let's review the STUD15. The screenshot at the top of the page again shows the parameters you'll select from in order to run your STUD15 report. You can choose an individual school or all schools, and an individual grade or all grades, and you can choose whether or not you'll include summer withdrawals. Those are students who pre-enrolled with your school but did not attend in that fiscal year. In the second screenshot, you can see the header of each of the data elements that are displayed in this report. The STUD15 report shows many of the details found in the STUD10 report, but combined into one report. This pre-integrity report combines some demographic data with the FTE, tuition payer, and special enrollment information. It also displays attendance data and the calendar code associated with each student. This report is typically used by data coordinators when they want to view all of these data elements in one location rather than on separate reports. Again, the AzEDS team has created a QRG for the STUD15. You can use this guide to help walk you through the parameters available in this report. The QRGs can be very helpful, and we highly suggest you take a look at each that pertains to the reports you'll use in the student data reconciliation process. This QRG provides links to the individual STUD10 QRGs regarding each report parameter so you can view the details where those data elements reported overlap. The STUD72 report provides detailed information about an individual student. This pre-integrity report shows student demographic data, enrollment and withdrawal activity, FTE and tuition payer data, special enrollment, homebound, and chronic health indicators, as well as some attendance data. The report parameters allow you to search for a specific state student ID, or SSID, in a particular school or all schools, and by district of residence, DOR, or district of attendance, DOA. This report allows you to view the details on an individual student basis. Data coordinators typically use this report to pull a specific student's data instead of looking at the whole grade, school, or LEA. This is very useful for troubleshooting integrity errors, except for attendance occurring outside of an enrollment period. The STUD72 only shows attendance occurring within the membership enrollment dates. The AzEDS team has also provided a QRG for the STUD72 report on their website, which is also at the top of this screen. This QRG provides many details regarding the report parameters and how to read the details contained in this report. It is a very valuable tool to use when familiarizing yourself with the data contained in the STUD72 and should be reviewed in detail for new users when initially pulling STUD72 reports. The STUD10 is again a pre-integrity report, and it shows what special education data has been associated with students at all schools within the district or a particular school. Unlike some of the others, this report does not have multiple parameters to choose from, but it does show some demographic data along with the need, LRE or least restrictive environment code, the entry and exit dates, the federal primary need indicator, and the SPED exit reason. This report will also show if a student has been reported as receiving ELL services. This report can be used to help resolve some SPED errors which are in the 40,000 series. The QRG for the STUD10 report provides a description of the reporting parameters and a detailed explanation of the report outputs. It also shows some differences found when exporting the report in PDF versus Excel. If you are using this report to resolve SPED errors, you can find the resource ID created when the data passed through the API that is associated with this data element in the CSV export of the STUD10 report. The ELL10 report is also pre-integrity and provides a verification of all of the ELL student data that has been submitted by a school or LEA. This report, like the STUD10 report, only has the option to pull for a specific school or the entire district. This report provides demographic information along with the ELL program code, service entry and exit dates, and the program exit reason. This report is typically used to resolve ELL integrity errors, which are in the 30,000 series. The ELL10 QRG posted on the AzEDS website at the top of this slide provides details regarding the reporting parameters and definitions of the outputs of this report. This QRG also shows the difference found when exporting the report in PDF versus CSV. If you are using this report to resolve ELL errors, you can find the resource IDs associated with that data element that were created when the data passed through the API in the CSV export of this report. Now let's talk through some troubleshooting that you can do to help resolve issues during the student data verification process. All of the reports we reviewed in detail today are pre-integrity reports. They are a reflection of the data that has been received in AzEDS from your student information system. We have not run this data through any rules yet, so if there is data missing, you should review your Trans 10 report to see whether or not your transactions are landing successfully in AzEDS. If they are not, please contact your vendor, which is the company that provides your student information system, and they can help you resolve those issues. You can also review your Trans 15 report. This report shows whether or not you've submitted all of the required fields for the data that you are trying to upload, change, or delete. When you are reviewing your Trans 15 report and see failed transactions with an ID in the 400 or 500 number range, you'll most likely need to contact your vendor to resolve those issues. You can also, of course, contact the analyst team at School Finance regarding questions on these reports. Please be sure to include state student IDs if your questions are regarding a specific student, or screenshots for questions regarding a specific error you are trying to resolve. On behalf of School Finance, we'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. We hope it was helpful, and we welcome any questions you might have on the topics we reviewed here.